What do it do, YouTube? It's your boys, Frank and CJ, Jay Schnitzel. That's for my Uncle Ronnie. We are back with another episode of the
Oh
Retro
my
Bros
goodness.
podcast. And today, ladies and gentlemen,
My
today
goodness.
we are going to do an episode that a lot of people, this may be our most disliked video. We're going to cover a pay per view that was very tough to get through for the both of us, I think. Of course, talking
One of
about,
yeah.
go ahead,
So go ahead, tell them what we're talking about. Go ahead.
ECW, December to Dismember 2006. My man put
Look at
money
this.
into this. He's
Look
a DVD of it.
look at the back. Look at the back of this DVD. If you want to know how bad this card looked before you even watch the show, this card looks absolutely terrible. But even the WWE knew it themselves. Look at what they promoted on the back of the card. The tag match and the chamber match. That's it. They didn't show you the rest of the card. You know why they didn't show you the rest of the card? Let me read it off to you guys
Go
before.
right ahead,
So
Frank.
of course it's right here. Let me read this card to you. So they open with the tag match, which I'm a huge Eminem fan. I was all for that match. But after that, you get Balls Mahoney versus Matt Striker. Rest in peace, Balls Mahoney. But seriously, nothing says I want to buy a pay per view like Balls Mahoney versus Matt Striker. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. After that, let's see. Elijah Burke, not the Pope. Elijah Burke, pre-Pope
Oh,
days,
no.
and Sylvester Turkai, versus the FBI. My gosh, speaking of the FBI,
I
man,
think that was a
I
dark.
didn't even know what happened.
I think that was a dark match.
No. It was on the card. I just watched this show last night. It's on the card. Um,
Okay.
I didn't know Trinity actually had a stint in WWE. She was in the FBI's corner on this night. She looked amazing, man. But I never knew. I thought she was just with Impact Wrestling. And
Well,
then you got Tommy Dreamer versus Davari. And then you got Mike Knox and Kelly versus Kevin Thorne and Ariel.
well, folks,
That's
before we get to the pay per view, I got some stuff I wanted to show you. Of course, you can see I'm rocking
okay.
the Feeling Uzi hoodie. I got the Feeling Uzi hoodie, and then I wanted to show you some other merch that I decided to get. I got a rockin' sock. I haven't taken it out the bag yet, but it's a rockin' sock, like collector's item. They're not
awesome.
actually
Very
because
entertaining
those
tag
are
team.
fans. So, and then I got myself an Ultimate Warrior trophy thing like this. And I wanted to get the Slammy
Nice.
Award winning thing, but that was like $100 more than this. So settle for this.
Right.
Uh, I got myself money. Hey, I'm Mr. Money in the
That's
Bank.
lit. That's lit. Is there an actual contract in there? Can you actually
No,
like
there's not.
cash
There's not. And
that?
then I got some awesome wrestling photos. I'm going to show you all the photos that I have. These are all plaques. I got one of Stone Cold Steve Austin,
Awesome.
John Cena, and I have that merch
Nice.
he's wearing too. If you look closely, you can see all the merch he's wearing. I have all that stuff. I got myself the Undertaker.
Nice.
I got myself Roman Reigns. I got all the goats. I got Roman
Nice.
Reigns.
Hold on. Did you get Hogan? Can't say you got all the goats if you didn't get the goat.
I got two Hogans.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Nice.
NWO Hogan right here. I'm sorry, that's classic Hogan right here. And right
Yep.
here, NWO Hogan. So yes, all of the
Awesome.
goats.
Tremendous. Tremendous.
Yeah. See, I know who to get. And we're gonna hang these all over my room. And That big empty space that you see over here will not be empty soon. It's going to have a desk, which is where I'll be doing all my podcasts from there. But let's get into this episode. If you're new to this channel, do us a favor, hit that subscribe button, like this video, tell us what you thought down below of ECW December to Dismember 2006, and enjoy a Pepsi with your boys. So let's talk about the show here, Frank, and we're going to talk all about the
So,
show. And I know you don't like to talk about backstage stuff, but we have to talk about Vince McMahon and Paul Heyman. I don't know what
well,
you know.
that I know all about that. That all carried up. That was part of the. I mean, it wasn't part of the show, but it had to do with the show. So, yeah, that's fine. But first off, when you look at this card, outside of the two matches that they have on the back of the DVD, this looks like the worst pay-per-view card I've ever seen in my life. I
What
swear.
are
And
these?
this is the first time for years. I've had this DVD now for a couple of years because I wanted to complete '06, the whole collection, the DVD collection of '06 papers. I've had this DVD for a couple of years now, and I just last night watched this show for the first time. I was never interested in watching this show because the card is so terrible.
Right?
Before last night, the only match I had ever seen was Eminem versus the Hardys on YouTube, like probably a decade ago. Because
Yeah.
I'm a huge
Um,
Eminem fan, and I was yeah.
one of these matches is a Strikers rules match, which is the exact opposite of an
Yeah.
Extreme Rules match. It is extremely enforced rules.
That
There's
that
no
was
there's no
Strikers.
gouging, there's no any of that. It's
Yeah,
regular
Strikers.
rules.
Strikers promo there. Outside of seeing women like Kelly Kelly and what's her name? I just said Trinity. Outside of seeing them, was Strikers promo was like the best part of the rest of that card post the tag match, pre the chamber match. That Striker promo. That was about it.
I love Striker's trunks. I don't know if you caught his trunks or not. His head
Of course,
is on his face is on his ass, and there's like a hole on his in his teeth.
yeah. Even
Uh,
if you didn't catch it, I mean, Taz and Joey Styles talked about it for
oh,
like the whole match.
so the date was December 3rd, 2006, um, and 4,800 people cared enough
Yeah.
to buy tickets for this show. And
And I'm sure the card, that the only reason they brought tickets is that card, the tickets had to come out like what, a month, 2 months in advance. Like the card was not set yet. So
true,
that's why you buy tickets. It's a WWE pay per view. So, of course, we're going to buy tickets on that name alone. But if I brought tickets to this show, because you buy tickets to a WWE show because WWE comes to your town and you
right?
want to see WWE. If I brought tickets to this show and then the card came out, I'd be like, man, give me my money back. Like cool, y'all
So
got Elimination Chamber in the main event, but what else? This card is terrible.
it really is. The
Yeah,
opening match is probably the best match of the whole night. One of the best matches. Hardy's defeated Eminem, and this was billed as a one night only event. But
which was
uh,
not true because um
yeah,
the rematch at Rumble. Hmm.
yeah. This match was great. It was two matches in one, pretty much. It was because the first part it was like Matt Hardy was getting the heat, was like taking the beating, and then Jeff Hardy came in, did a bunch of moves. They did their big spectacular moves, and then a dive to the outside of the ring was the start of the second match. And the
Yeah,
second part of the match was Jeff taking the ass whooping. And then Matt Hardy made the comeback, and the Hardys picked up the victory. They did a really cool move, the Hardys did, where they grabbed, I don't know, I think it was Mercury. They grabbed his legs, and then they wheelbarrowed him up and just dropped him on his back. which looked cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
look, that matchup was top notch. I'm not.
For me, yeah. For me, look, I've said it. I've said it about like 3 times since we started this podcast. I'm a big Eminem fan. I like they were great heels, great
Yes,
cocky young cocky heels, but this match just went on a little too long for my liking because the crowd, and rightfully so for the crowd. I get it. This crowd was sitting on their hands like all night, and I get it because this card is just trash. But for the most part, this match it wasn't bad by any means, but it wasn't like match of the year contender type match because when a match carries on for 20 minutes and the crowd is like mildly into it, then you just it's going on for a little too long. Then uh,
yes,
they did some good stuff. It was okay, but you know, as if you've seen this show, this crowd really wasn't into it, and that's one thing I noticed last night. And I like I said, I can't blame them. If you see this card, what are you going to get excited for outside of those 2 matches? So we're gonna sit around and be excited for 3 hours just because of 2 matches? I don't blame
yeah.
the crowd for not being into this show.
I
And
this
so yeah, Hardy's Eminem was okay. I wouldn't say it was a great match though. Their match at Rumble was way better
yeah.
the next month.
They also competed at a pay-per-view at the next show. It was Armageddon. He had
Yeah,
a
that
ladder,
ladder match.
and Joey
Yeah,
Mercury took just a brutal,
yeah.
brutal shot to the face. We got Tro
Oh
Kavanaugh.
yeah.
We got Tro Kavanaugh. This was part of Eminem's.
Tro, let's go Isles, baby.
Yeah. Uh,
And
do you know
Mets.
this
He's a
guy?
Met fan too. Yeah, oh yeah. Well, not personally, but
Oh,
we're Facebook friends.
Tro
Yeah,
says this was part of the Eminem short reunion after Nitro turned on Mercury at Judgment
yeah,
Day '06.
yeah.
Nitro was doing fine for himself, winning the IC title before losing it to Jeff in a ladder match. This match basically set the bar and it went downhill from here. Troph, big facts, bro. Big facts. Absolutely. The bar was set
Um,
up here and then it was quickly dropped to here. It
the
was
bar, the bar was. You say the bar was set up here. The bar was set like right here in the
yeah,
middle.
you're right.
It wasn't as. It
Bar was
wasn't
standing
as great. This match wasn't as great as you and Tro say. In
yeah.
my opinion, it wasn't as great as you and Tro say.
No, but
The
it
crowd
was
wasn't really. It was good,
hey,
but it
compared to
wasn't
everything
great.
else, right? Compared to everything else on the card. Come on.
Everything prior to the chamber, yeah. The matches prior to the chamber. You really expect any of these matches to be any good? Like, come on
Well, let's talk
now.
about another one that took place.
Hold on. Before. Well, there was a segment where Rob Van Dam comments about being in the Extreme Elimination Chamber. That was pretty decent. Now
Yeah.
we get on to that next match.
Balls Mahoney defeated Matt Striker in a Striker's rules match. The story of this match was that Balls Mahoney could actually wrestle. He was actually an amateur wrestler in or in high school or college or whatever. And so what? He doesn't need the steel chairs and the weapons and all this stuff. Oh my gosh. Get out of here. Frank, this match was trash. Your thoughts?
Outside of Strike, the one good thing about this match was Striker's pre-match promo. Striker, so doing getting the ECW fans like, you guys want to see an Extreme Rules match? Well, we're going to enforce the rules extremely or something like that. That was a great promo. I wish they would have played more into enforcing the rules. Like, if he does, somebody tries, if Balls Mahoney tries to use a closed fist, have Matt Striker tell the ref, hey, nope, that's against the law. That's against the rules. Can't be doing that. I love that he
Right.
also said he said no profanity too because his name is Balls, so he can't have no profanity. But then he literally says like, "Get out here, Balls, Mahoney." It's like you said no profanity, but then you say Balls. Like, wait a minute, what?
Trove says,
But
let's
yeah,
try his face on his ass. And that was about the peak of this match. Yeah. Yeah.
that was funny too. Yeah.
I agree, man. This match
Other
was
than that, other than that,
Yeah,
Yeah, the crowd didn't care for this match, which again, like I said, I don't blame them. There was
yeah.
nothing going great for this match. Striker was great,
At
but
least the
yeah,
babyface won.
yeah. Well,
So
yeah. Speaking of Tro, the reason why he's here, he's like I say, we're Facebook friends, but couple of months ago when we did a show, I cannot remember what show it was, but he commented when I shared it, as I always share the post, he was like, let me know when y'all do something 06, 08. So I remembered that and I was like, well, this is the first 06 show we've ever done, so let me tag
yeah.
him. And that's why he's here. And again,
Well,
we're happy to have you.
thank you for being here, bro. We appreciate you, dog.
Yep.
Uh, Next match was Elijah Burke and Sylvester Terkay beating the FBI with Trinity in their corner. And
Again, um about a decade, like 12 years ago, I started watching the weekly pay-per-views from Impact Wrestling, and I became a huge fan of Trinity. Like, she looks amazing. I
yeah,
seriously had no idea.
man.
What was that?
She wrestled with the men too. She had matches with
She
like
did, yeah, yeah.
Ash
Yeah,
and
during those weekly pay-per-view days, yeah.
yeah.
But I had no idea that she actually had a stint in WWE. Because I wasn't really watching ECW back in '06. Really,
Right.
like I watched like the
It was
first,
like it was a blink and you miss it paper or blink
yeah,
and you miss
or
it thing. Number one,
appearance, yeah,
it stored her away on the one brand that they thought nobody was going to watch.
yeah.
So
When FBI first came out and they did like a camera angle, it's like a long range camera shot of the three of them coming out. I'm like, oh shit, Dawn Marie, damn, Dawn Marie looks amazing. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's Trinity. What?
yeah,
But yeah, Trinity was the best thing going for this match. Another match that the crowd didn't care for.
yeah. Well, you're
Like I said,
right.
the crowd was mild for pretty much the whole night, and I don't blame them. If I went to this show and saw this card, I'd be like, why am I even here? Other besides the fact
I
that
don't
Eminem
even
and the Hardys and the yeah,
I'll tell you,
um,
I went to a Raw a couple of years ago with my dad, and the main
yeah,
event was a women's tag team match, and me and dad left before the match was over. We were like, okay, this is we're done. It it was a Raw in 2019 when the feud and or when the Fiend and Seth Rollins were feuding, and
hmm,
they had a segment on the Titantron, and me and dad looked at each other like, what the hell was that? And then they were like, time for your main event, and it's the girls. And actually, no, they didn't say it was the main event. It was just a female tag team match. And we're like, okay, this will go for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then we'll see the main event. And
yeah,
no, it was the main event. We were like, yeah, no, let's just go. We're done.
mm.
But yeah, so I probably would have up and left after in the middle of this show. Um, but yeah, next match was good God,
You could
Davari
literally say
defeat.
that. You could literally say good God for pretty much anything after Eminem, Hardys, and before the Chamber. You could
Gee,
literally
well,
say that for any of these matches.
good God, yes, good God, just good God. I mean, do you agree with that though?
Tommy Dreamer versus Vari, yeah. Like, what? Why is this even on a pay per view?
Yeah, dear God. In other words, right? You're agreeing with my dear God
Yeah,
sentiment.
yeah, yeah. But I'm saying you can say that about pretty much
Yeah,
anything
oh,
after the tag match
yeah,
before the
that's how you
Chamber.
said I have been saying it. Oh,
No, no, no. I'm saying you could have. For
okay. Okay.
yeah,
My bad. It wouldn't surprise me if I've been saying "Dear God" after every match, but like, just
yeah.
this pay per view, just why, just why? I, anyway, Davari defeated Tommy Dreamer. Nothing to this match.
Agree.
It
Yeah,
was a
not
whatever.
much to say. Not much to say. So then, shortly, I think we might have missed some. It's not on the little booklet here where it says the chapters, but at some point Sabu gets taken out, and
Yeah,
we see like the camera angle where it shows somebody's laid out, and they zoom in. You
yeah,
notice it's
and
Sabu.
I
So
guess the reason they
Sabu
took
is
him out, I guess the reason they took Sabu out was because they wanted somebody that could do. They didn't want him to do all the wrestling moves and stuff like that.
I don't
Uh,
think that's why. I think it was playing to the storyline of that match. The story of
that was
that match.
wrestling with regret, and he was saying that the reason they took Sabu out was because they didn't want somebody in there that could do all these wrestling maneuvers. They wanted somebody that could go in there and throw his body all over the place and use all these weapons, which
But it seemed to me that taking him out of the match and putting Hardcore Holly in was to play towards the storyline that Paul Heyman is trying to stack the deck against Bobby Lashley, and Hardcore Holly is another one of his guys, of Heyman's guys. You see them. It was Hardcore and Tess walking with Paul Heyman to the ring right before the match,
and
and
by the way,
Big
by the way,
Show's like cheering on Hardcore Holly and Tess. So yeah.
and by the
I
way,
think that's why some of it.
props to Hardcore Holly because just a few months before this, he had an Extreme Rules match with Rob Van Dam,
Yeah,
and he took a superplex through the table and had a huge
cut his
gash.
whole back. Yeah,
Hit that gash on his back was huge, and it was deep, bro. It was. I remember seeing
yeah,
that live. I'm like, oh my god, how is he still wrestling
mm,
after that? And yeah,
yeah.
that
That was
was freaking nasty.
so. So right after Dreamer and Davari, they show Paul Heyman come to the locker room of Holly, who's already in his gear, even though he's not scheduled to wrestle. Which that's part of the angle. They
Yes, true. Exactly. They took Sabu out of a match that was a specialty. Exactly. It makes no sense. It
so
makes no sense.
they So they have Hardcore Holly, who's basically in his gear, even though he's not wrestling on the show, which they mentioned that once Hardcore Holly entered the match. So it's like something's going on here, which I like that they do that. I don't care if it's Sabu's specialty. I like that they played toward the angle. They took out a guy who was in favor of guys like Rob Van Dam and CM Punk, and they had a heel and Hardcore Holly come in. And he's again, why is he in his gear when he's not even wrestling? And they had Heyman come in, and Heyman told him, "You're in the match now." And the only thing I felt when Hardcore Holly came out, just seeing him stand in the elimination chamber, it's like, damn, this feels so out of place. Why is it Hardcore Holly in an elimination chamber match? Like Hardcore Holly, but I mean, they could have had any other heel like in that. And like Hardcore Holly's a mid card guy. Why is he in such a main event match? That's the only thing I disagree with. That it was a hardcore. Could have been anybody else that could have been
Well,
in Paul Heyman's pocket.
well, hold on. Don't get excited. We're not at the end yet. We're not at the
No,
elimination chamber
I know.
yet. We still got one
One more
match
match.
left.
Yeah.
Ariel and Heaven Thorne defeated Kelly Kelly and Mike Knox after Mike Knox walked out on Kelly Kelly. And
At least we got to see Kelly Kelly for a few minutes. That's all I can say about
uh,
this match.
yeah, that
I
extreme
like
match
the whole.
was.
I like the whole angle. What was it?
I wasn't a fan of her gimmick, the extreme expose stuff.
I was.
Yeah, I
Especially when they brought Brooke Adams into that too. Brooke, oh my gosh.
yeah, Brooke is good.
But
Yeah, I like Brooke too.
yeah, yeah. But
Layla
wasn't
was,
it? Oh yeah. What happened?
Layla was also in that group
She
too.
was. Yeah, she
Yeah.
was. But I like the little angle they had here where Kelly Kelly is like in favor of CM Punk. She actually grabs the mic from the ring announcer right before the match. Is like
Which
hiding it from Mike Knox. And she's like, "I want to wish CM Punk good luck tonight in his match." And Mike Knox gets all jealous. He's getting all mad, and that's why he walks out on Kelly Kelly. So at least this match had a story, but
yeah,
again, nobody cared. It was, why is this on a pay per
why
view?
would you care? Why would you care?
I enjoyed the storyline, I'll say that, but the whole it just didn't belong on a pay per view. It really
Yeah.
didn't.
And then finally we get to the elimination chamber, and it is Bobby Lashley versus the Big Show versus Test versus Rob Van Dam versus Hardcore Holly versus CM Punk. And they basically gave away at the start of the match that there was going to be a new champion. If you listen closely to commentary, because they said there will be a new champion crowned tonight. So they did say
I
that.
didn't even catch it. I didn't
They,
even catch that.
they said it. Yeah.
But Tro actually bringing up the Mordecai gimmick with Kevin Thorne. Man, they could have did so much with that
Yeah.
Mordecai gimmick. I don't understand why they gave up on it.
I have no idea why they dropped the Mordecai gimmick. That was actually very
Yeah,
interesting. It was he got like
yeah,
one or two matches and then he just you're done. You're done.
yeah.
It makes no
I don't understand that. At a point, I love SmackDown in '04, but let's be honest, they were at a point where they were lacking star power and they needed somebody to step up. And here you have potential with Mordecai, and they just throw it away. I don't understand that.
yeah.
It made no sense to me.
So
I'm ready to talk about this chamber though.
this is an extreme elimination chamber match, which means all four pods are going to have weapons in them. One pod has a barbed wire baseball bat. One pod has a chair. One pod has a crowbar, and one pod has a table. And
All I can say is I hope Bobby Lashley isn't claustrophobic because he got the table chamber. He's standing in a little pod with this big ass table right behind him. I hope he wasn't claustrophobic. My goodness.
the first two men out were Hardcore Holly and Rob Van Dam.
Yeah.
And they had a good little back and forth. They used the chamber to their advantage a lot. At one point, Bob Holly throws RVD head first into a steel chair, busts him open, and RVD is now bleeding. Second chamber match of the year, first time they did that. Okay, they had another chamber. Yeah. At
Yeah, that's where Edge cashed in.
yeah, you're right.
New Year's
Yeah.
Revolution '06.
That was almost a year later, almost, but not quite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
No. Yeah, almost a year later. You're right. You're right. But it's the end of the year. It's still the same year.
so CM Punk comes out at number 3, and he's a House of Fire, beats up both Bob Holly and RVD. And then eventually CM Punk is eliminated by RVD with a frog splash. Test, I believe, or Hardcore Holly was the next one eliminated. And Hardcore Holly was the next one eliminated. He's eliminated by Test. Ron Van Dam is eliminated next by Test. Big Show is out. I'm sorry, no. Bobby Lashley is out next, but they won't open the chamber. And it's Paul Heyman.
I love this scene. Yeah, I love this.
Vibe reactions. What's good, bro?
What's up, Vibe?
You, man.
I love this little spot here where they try to lock Lashley. They try to lock Lashley in the chamber, and Lashley uses the table that's in that pod with him, and he's breaking the chains at the top.
Yeah.
And he climbs out. That was a cool scene right there.
That was a clever way to use the table, too. Just
Yes. So, and at least that weapon, that big ass table, was in there for a reason.
I don't know who looked worse physically in '06, Test or Big Show. Probably Big Show. Test looked ripped here, man. Test looked ripped. But that could have been roids, I guess. But yeah, he takes the table, just gets out that way, and there's a House of Fire. He eliminates Test, and then it comes down to him and Big Show, and he beats down Big Show. He beats Big Show to literally a bloody pulp because he busts Big Show open, and then he hits the spear. 1, 2, 3, and just like the commentators gave it away at the start of the show, at the start of the match, we have a new ECW World Champion, Bobby.
All right, so here, so yeah, I've really wanted to talk about this match and seen it last night. So everybody wanted Punk to win, which is absolutely ridiculous. Thinking that in 2006 that CM Punk would be a world champion for somebody. WWE. This yes, it's ECW, but this is still a WCW. I mean, a WWE show. And to think that a guy who literally just got to the company, just got on TV that year, that he would be a world champion just because the indie fans love him. It's crazy. The story of this match was built around Bobby Lashley. Heyman is stacking the deck against Lashley, so it made sense that Lashley would be the guy, against all the odds. He comes out and wins it. The one thing I was surprised that he eliminated Test before Big Show got in. That's the only thing. I thought they were going to do the little 2-on-1 thing, and Lashley would be able to survive it. But no, instead, Lashley eliminated Test before Big Show got out of his pod. I really thought that the crowd was going to totally shit on this match once Punk got eliminated because of all the stories you hear about this. But the crowd actually cheered when Punk got eliminated because Punk got eliminated by another one of their darlings, Rob Van Dam.
Right. Yeah.
They were a little upset.
I was going to say CM Punk was still on the rise here. He wasn't ready for that.
Yeah. No, he wasn't. No.
For him in a big match, this was a test, but it wasn't going to get on the belt. It wasn't to get on the belt.
No, it was not time to do that. They actually
one man in mind to get the championship to, and that was Bobby Lashley.
Yes, and they were right to do so.
Yes.
So Rob Van Dam, when Rob Van Dam got eliminated, that's when the crowd got a little upset. They started chanting bullshit. But meanwhile, they were still fairly into this match. Like I said, as fairly into a match as they were that night. They were dead for most of the night. Understand why? Because the card is trash. But they were into this. They actually cheered when Lashley got the 1, 2, 3 on Big Show to win the title. I enjoyed the chamber match. I'd probably
matches of the night. They were the two best matches.
I would probably give it to the chamber for match of the night. But there's not a match on this show that I would actually give 4 or more stars to. It was there was no match of the year type of contender on this show. That's how bad it was. 2 good matches, but that's it. They were just good, not great.
Right.
This is easily the worst pay-per-view I've ever seen. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give it a 1. The only reason it gets a 1 is because the 2 matches that I was actually excited to see delivered, even though not delivered to how as I would have hoped it to deliver. But without those 2 matches, this is a 0.
Honestly, I had to give this match a rating. I couldn't because it's not deserving of 1. That's how bad it is.
It's terrible, yeah, no doubt.
Hey, folks, next week we're going to review a pay-per-view that is worthy of some good ratings, I think. We are going to cover
Armageddon 02.
Oh, yeah, we're doing Armageddon 02 next week. And then in 2 weeks, or whenever we come back from our break, because Christmas is coming up.
It's funny, before you say, it's funny you picked this show, because as I was watching that chamber match, I was getting excited. I'm like, I'm thinking of some of my favorite chamber matches. I wanted to watch one of them right after, and it was down to 2. It was either the first one, which is my absolute favorite, or the third one. And I went with the third one, and that was 2005 New Year's Revolution. And I absolutely... Yeah, this was number 3. The first one was Survivor 02. Next one was SummerSlam 03. There was no chamber match in 04. And New Year's Revolution 05. I love that match. But that show is right up there with, or I should say right down there with December to Dismember for being a two-match card, where it's like, okay, I want to see that. But the rest of this card, oh my gosh. What the hell is this? But at least to credit to, and if you don't understand that yet, New Year's Revolution 05 is a show we're going to review in 2 weeks. But that show...
Tro says Armageddon 02 is a very fine show.
I thought it was okay. It was okay. It was my least favorite show of 02, honestly. I love the main event, and that's why it gets okay instead of like really bad. But as I was trying to say, oh yeah, New Year's Resolution '05 is on par with December to Dismember, but in argument towards New Year's Resolution, their chamber match was better than anything on December to Dismember '06. Way better by far.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk
So
about
December,
we'll
yeah,
talk about it because in 2 weeks
yep.
we're going to review. Uh, we're going to review. I'm sorry, folks.
New Year's Resolution
New
'05.
Year's resolution. Thank you. Yeah, we're going to
'05.
review New Year's resolution 2005. Wait, New Year's Revolution 2005. Um,
And I got to see that show on pay-per-view, by the way, too. There were three. I was lucky enough to see three of the best matches of 2005 on pay-per-view. And that chamber match was one of them.
So there you go, folks. So we got Armageddon 02 and New Year's Resolution 05 coming up for the next couple of weeks. So do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell to get notified when we upload new content. We upload new content weekly. I want to thank Vibe Reactions and Tro Kavanaugh for coming through in the comment section. Appreciate you, fellas. Until next time, he's Frank. I'm CJ. We're out. We'll see y'all next week, ladies and gentlemen.